objective of having an equality in outcome versus an objective of having equality in opportunity, and those two are very distinct.
If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna be with me.
Hello and welcome to another episode. This time I'd like to talk to you about the left versus right ideologies in politics. There seems to be a lot of confusion about what is left and what is right, and in this video I'll try to explain a little bit about the fundamental principal differences in ideology between those two camps. Now, where do I draw the line in terms of left, what is on the left and what is on the right? Principally, it's about looking at the objective of equality, either versus objective of having an equality in outcome versus an objective of having equality in opportunity, and those two are very distinct. In Australia, of course, we have two main parties. One is the Labor Party, which you will find is predominantly on the left, although certainly not as far into the left side as the Greens or Socialist movement, if you will. And on the right, more on the right side, we have the Liberal and National Alliance, and they're fundamentally a classical Liberal Party, but perhaps doesn't go far enough for some more libertarian elements, and perhaps even myself. If we're looking at the platform, let's start there with the platforms of the two major parties. The Labor Party platform, in their section for enduring values, and I'll provide a link, makes a number of comments about it. About their positions that I've picked up on, which I find interesting, and a Liberal Party at the same time in comparison to it. Also from their federal platform document, their beliefs section, which they've completed in November 2015, whereas the ALP platform would take it from their 47th National Conference. So what do they believe in? Labor says that they stand together with the union movement, whereas the Liberal Party believes in the inalienable rights and freedoms of all individuals. The Labor Party, our heroes, are social democrats, so they're certainly going into socialism, whereas on the Liberal side they believe in individual freedom and free enterprise, which is definitely liberalism. Labor believes in a free and fair distribution of wealth, whereas the Liberals believe in the creation of wealth, in competitive enterprise, consumer choice, and a reward for effort. This is very distinct. Labor, governments should intervene to address market failures. And the Liberals believe in a lean government that minimises interference. And final, Labor supports an increase in work, wants the government to implement strategies that support an increase in workforce diversity, whereas on the Liberal side there's an importance of voluntary effort and voluntary organisations. So there's a clear distinction between left and right ideologies in politics. So if we then summarise it a little bit further and talk about what generally the left stands for, and I've subbed that as social activism. They believe in equality of outcome, and that the economy requires state intervention, that you can only have innovation through regulation, that there's a heavy regulation and taxation should happen by force, that the government should force moral compliance or moral behaviour, they believe in wealth distribution, and that of course creates a growing welfare dependence. So there's never a lack of injustices and income inequality to attend to. It's a Robin Hood type government. Centralised state control, i.e. the government is central in the entire economic and social geography, and in a reduction of personal freedom to support a homogeneity of outcome. On the right side, what I've dubbed classic liberalism. Look at an equality of opportunity. Economy is voluntary exchange in a free market, capitalism. That innovation can only happen by a creative, independent market. That deregulation and lower taxes is important to facilitate that. The right believes in the importance of individual freedom and personal moral responsibility. In wealth creation and a laissez-faire approach to market or independent commercial activity. Decentralised control, if there is a need for government or some kind of regulation, that should be decentralised. That the law should apply equally to every person, and that we need to protect the interpersonal freedoms, and that we should be accepting a heterogeneous outcomes as a result of this. So not everybody is the same, and you can never attain the same outcome for every individual. Neither should you try. That's the side of the right. So when you try and summarise that across a number of different elements, you'll see that on the left the regulation burden goes up, and on the right the regulation burden goes down. On the left the taxation goes up, taxation, levies and fines, and on the right it will go down. Government will increase as a result of left ideology, implementation of left-leaning policies, whereas on the right it will go down, smaller government. Welfare dependence will go up on the left, and it will go down on the right. Interference goes up on the left, whereas government interference goes down on the right. And there's discrimination by law, increased discrimination by law on the left as a result of trying to homogenise outcomes. So you get distinguishing factors in law that apply only to certain minority groups or groups that are deemed to have had an injustice incurred, whereas on the right you don't have that because the law should apply equally to all. Now, what do I and what do libertarians generally believe in? So first of all, we believe in minimal government and the empowerment of local communities to improve cohesive social order. We believe in the absence of coercion. There shouldn't be any force or aggression applied to people, because we believe in the importance of voluntary interaction. Fundamentally we believe in a fundamentality of inalienable human rights, and I've made a different video on these, but such as life, thought, speech, travel, etc. We believe in personal moral responsibilities and the absence of regulatory interference. Nobody has a right to tell you what to do, how to do it, and basically should leave you alone if you leave other people alone too. We believe fundamentally in the rule of law. The law is very important, and it should be applied equally to all. So rule of law is a very fundamental principle, but just we don't want a lot of laws and a lot of regulation. And the importance for me essentially of the family unit in a cohesive society. I like this one. I'll share this one with you. I found this on the internet, and it says that as libertarians we are diligently plotting to take over the world and then leave you alone. Unfortunately, you see very little political activism on the right side, because we're more on the side of leaving people alone rather than trying to force you to do things, which is why you see more activism on the left. But in a political landscape, we must be part of the regulatory body of the politici in order to make changes to improve your social freedom and welfare from a libertarian perspective. Anyway, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave your comments, press like, share with others, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.